him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack 'em on gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And the dysfunction at the heart of the Who and the tense relationship between Pete Townshend and Roger Daltrey is decades old and legendary. It has been publicly played out more with the recent sacking of reinstated and then eventually re-sacked Zach Starkey, son of Ringo Starr. And Starkey has drummed for the Who since 1996, but was fired after the gig at the Royal Albert Hall in March after an onstage dressing down from Daltrey during 1971's track The Song Is Over. Starkey says Daltrey claims he was overplaying and dropping some beats, which he denies. He was restored 3 days later with Townshend claiming communication issues from the misunderstanding. Yet Starkey was finally relieved of his duties a month later and has been vocally criticized of Daltrey's handling of the situation and the claim he had been retired to concentrate on other projects. Pete Townshend says it's been a mess. I asked him about the Royal Albert Hall incident. I couldn't see anything wrong. What you see is a band who hasn't played together for a long time. But I think it was probably the sound. I lost my sound man as a result. I think Roger just got lost. Roger finding it difficult. I have to be careful with what I say about Roger because he gets angry if I say anything about him at all. He'll be sacking me next. But that's not to say that he sacked Zach. It's a decision Roger and I tried to make together, but it kind of got out of hand. Was it a difficult decision to let him go? I didn't invite him in, right? Roger invited him in. And at the time, I didn't know quite why he chose Zach, but Zach is another Keith Moon. He comes with real bonuses and real difficulties. I will miss Zach terribly. But quite what the story is, I don't fucking know. I really don't know. The Who have planned what is billed to be the final tour of America in August. Yeah, they didn't do that in 1982. I didn't drive at the time, but I went all the way up to Orlando to see the farewell tour of 82. Anyway, yeah, farewell tour. All right, and but anyway, Townshend doesn't exactly seem too up for it. He says, I don't know whether I've been up for doing anything with the Who since 1973, but I am looking forward to it, not because it's the end, but because I hope we can continue to explore other things. Pete Townshend wants to make another Who album, the follow-up to 2019's Who, but Roger Daltrey doesn't. And Pete says, which is really hard for me. He feels that we got enough legacy and that, that's where we differ. Townshend does think about legacy though. He says, I suppose secretly in our dreams, I don't know about Roger, but who dies first? Then what happens? He has given the impression for a long time that he has been creatively unfulfilled in the Who. He says, it sounds like you're asking for a sad story. You can't imagine what it's like to be in my shoes. I mean, it's fucking ecstasy. But I do suffer mood swings. I suffer from manic depression. So sometimes when I wake up, if there was a gun under the pillow, I might blow my brains out. But after a cup of tea and digestive biscuit, I realize that I'm very lucky. I have an amazing life. All right, there you go. Yeah, I did a news story when they first fired him. Then I did another news story when they rehired him. They didn't fire him. Then when they fired him the third time, I was like, come on, man. Enough. I'm not doing that. But then I saw this thing where Pete Townshend says that Roger Daltrey, he'll be sacking me next. That's funny, man. So I was like, all right, that's good enough for the only news that matters. Where I know a lot of you out there, you found out that Zach Starkey was fired again from somewhere else. And that somewhere else, that news didn't matter. You're hearing it here where it matters. Ringo Starr has reportedly criticized the way that little man, Roger Daltrey, runs The Who after Starr's son was sacked from the band. Zach Starkey, who was sacked as The Who's drummer over a disagreement about a performance, said he was proud that his father had come to his defense. The drummer has maintained that during the band's now infamous breakup concert, it was Who's 81-year-old frontman Roger Daltrey who got his timing wrong. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Starkey added fuel to the rift, saying that after he was sacked for the second time, in that space of a few weeks, Starr told him, "I never liked the way that little man runs his band." Starkey said the footage from Royal Albert Hall, the show gigs Daltrey turning into frustration toward his drummer during the rendition of The Song Is Over and saying, "To sing that song, I need to hear the keys, and I can't. All I got is drums going boom, boom, boom." Pete Townshend said that Roger Daltrey did nothing wrong but fiddle with his ear monitors. Townshend added that Starkey made a few mistakes and had apologized for them. But the drummer said he was informed 10 days later that the reinstatement was never going to work and was encouraged to put out a statement to say he was moving on for his own accord. Zach Starkey, the godson of The Who's drummer, late Keith Moon, told Rolling Stone he was very proud of his father for standing up for me, and added that despite his apology, he could still see no mistake on his part in the concert footage. He said he had been blamed for missing his cue, when in fact Roger had come in 4 bars early after being unable to hear the piano. He blamed it on the drums being too loud, and then it got made into this huge social media issue. Starkey is due to be replaced before The Who's farewell tour of the United States this summer. When asked whether he had been sacked from financial reasons, he said, "Roger is quite renowned. I once asked John Entwistle if Roger still had the money from the last Who tour. And John said, he's still got the money from the first tour." All right, so there you go. Wow, a lot of drama mama in The Who, huh? It's been kind of, for a band to be around for 60 years and then 60 years into their career, all this explodes on social media. They fired the guy. They rehired him. Then they fired him again. What a mess. And they're doing a farewell tour. They are coming my way. And, man, I love The Who, man. I saw the 50th anniversary. I saw the first time I saw him was 82, the farewell tour. Then I seen Quadrophenia live. I saw Tommy live. I've seen him a bunch of times live through the years. With Entwistle and without. Never with Keith Moon. And it was always an outstanding show. The last one was with an orchestra. It was badass. And it is coming my way, the final show. And you know what? I'll look into it. If it's reasonably priced, I'll definitely go. And I hope they play The Seeker. But yeah, Roger Daltrey seems a little perturbed, man. Seems to be something wrong with the guy. I mean, that's the picture it's painting here, both from Zach, Pete Townshend, and Ringo Starr. But Roger Daltrey helped with children's cancer, so I don't care how much of a dick he is. I just don't care, But, people that don't donate to children's cancer and stuff, they'll think he's a dick. Funny how that is, right? But anyway, let me all know what you think. Even if you think he's a dick, it's all right. You know, I accept, as long as you're nice to me. I don't give a fuck if you talk bad about Roger Daltrey. Talk bad about me, you're gone. I send you the cornfield. You disappear without a reply from me. So be nice, all right? Because I'm nice to you. That's right, I am. I haven't said one bad thing about you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell. I really would appreciate that. And like the video, it's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Quadrophenia, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.